What's a fun fact that nobody asked for? On the 8th of April, 1942, a detachment of Polish soldiers, deployed to Iran by the Allies, bought a bear cub from an Iranian boy. In August the bear was given to the 22nd Artillery Supply Company and named Wojtek by the soldiers. They fed him condensed milk, honey, fruit, and beer, which ended up being his favorite drink. He also picked up smoking and enjoyed wrestling with his human friends and bunking in on cold nights. When the Polish Second Corps was redeployed at Italy to fight alongside the British, the Brits wouldn't transport mere muskets on a troop ship, so Wojtek was formally enrolled in the Polish army as a private. During the brutal Battle of Mont Cassino, Private Wojtek helped keep the guns firing by hauling boxes of ammo, each containing 4 25-pound shells. These crates normally took 4 men to haul. For his bravery and service in battle, Wojtek was promoted to corporal, and his visage became the emblem of the 22nd Artillery Supply Company. After the war, the 22nd was sent to Scotland before being demobilized, at which point Wojtek was given to the Edinburgh Zoo, where he was often visited by Polish soldiers until his death in 1963. That is the story of Corporal Wojtek, the Polish artillery bear. Dragonflies suck water up their butts and shoot it out like jets when they get tired. Greater stick nest rats, an Australian native rodent, glue its nests together using urine, which dries like cement. Queen Victoria gave the rights of her will to her physician who she trusted more than her family. The royal family is still trying and failing to get the will from the doctor's family. I was born with an undescended testicle. Usually you will have a surgery to repair it at 12 months. My parents did F all until my preschool wouldn't accept me without a 2-year checkup, where my pediatrician discovered I never had the surgery. So now I had it very late at 3 years old, and it caused them to do some damage to my right testicle, getting it through the pass without breaking anything. It caused it to not grow as expected, and as thus is about 1/4 the size of my left testicle. If I suck in my gut, my testicle goes right back up into my public bone area and you can see it clearly. Unethical life pro tip: since this has happened, I've used it to show my management a picture of a hernia and taking all my PTO before quitting without questions. There is a forest that is 107 acres, but made up of only one tree. Thousands of aspens that share a single root system. A trapper caught a mama bear in Winnipeg, Canada, and the baby was there. He got the baby and sold it to a Canadian soldier. The soldier took it to his base, and everyone loved the bear. They trained the bear, and was great for morale. But they had to go to World War I, so they gave the bear to the London Zoo. The zoo saw that the bear was good with everyone, including kids. Kids could play with and even ride the bear. The kids made many memories with the increasingly popular bear. One of those kids, Christopher Robin. His father saw Christopher Robin playing with his bear, named after the bear at the zoo. Since the soldier found the bear in Winnipeg, he shortened the name to Winnie. That's right. You know this bear as the classic children's story, Winnie the Pooh. Christopher Robin was Christopher Robin Milne, son of author A. Milne, who wrote the Winnie the Pooh books. In Starship Trooper, the actors agreed to do the coat shower scene only if the director got naked with them, and he did. On 1939, February 14th, a German battleship was launched and was sank with only 118 of the 2,200 crew members surviving. Among them was a black and white cat named Oscar, which was found floating on a board and was picked up from the water by a British ship. On October 27, 1941, the ship sank to the west of Gibraltar and Oscar was found clinging to a piece of plank and was later brought to the shore establishment in Gibraltar. When British officers learned what happened, they named him Unsinkable Sam. After that he was adopted by the crew of the HMS Ark Royal, and in 1941, November 14th, a torpedo hit the ship. Sam was again found clinging to a piece of plank and was described as angry but unharmed. By this time it was enough for the poor cat, and remained at a days on land hunting mice in Gibraltar, and then being transferred to the UK where he lived his final days. And this was the story of Unsinkable Sam. Baby kittens and puppies can't urinate and defecate on their own. Their mothers lick their genitals and anuses to prompt them to do so, and then also cleans it up. Most people don't know this. If they happen to be taking care of an orphaned young kitten or puppy service, it ends up being a cause of death for a lot of them. If you ever take care of an orphaned kitten/puppy or know someone who is, you must use a damp paper towel or wash rag to wipe their bottoms until they urinate or defecate. There was a Finnish soldier named Amo Koivunen who got separated from his unit. He had no food or weapons, and to avoid dying, took enough methamphetamine for 30 men. During his insane drug binge, he skied about 250 miles, passed over a landmine and survived, and caught and ate a bird raw. That's just a few details. I recommend actually reading about this absolute legend yourself. If you ever see someone using an iPhone in a movie, they are not one of the bad guys. Apple requires as a condition of licensing their products for use in film/TV that only protagonists are allowed to operate them on camera. So, if a character is using an iPad in a horror movie, they will not end up secretly being the killer. Cleopatra was Greek, not Egyptian or African. Humans share 99.9% of their DNA with any other human on the planet. Humans share 99% of their DNA with their closest relative, the chimpanzee. Humans also share 60% of their DNA with bananas. Between 1913 and 1914, Sigmund Freud, Adolf Hitler, Joseph Stalin, Emperor Franz Joseph, Archduke Franz Ferdinand and Leon Trotsky lived in Vienna within 4 kilometers of each other. Talk about sick, my dear. There was an experiment once to see how hope affects animals with higher intelligences, and they tested this by drowning mice. Mice that were put in a bucket of water drowned in something like 2 minutes. However, mice that were taken out after about a minute and a half were given a chance to rest and then were put back in the bucket. Lasted close to 50 hours. The day that Michael Jackson's hair famously caught on fire during the filming of a Pepsi commercial was on January 27, 1984, the 9,282nd day of his life. Michael Jackson was born on August 29, 1958, and died on June 25, 2009, living to be 18,563 days old. The day of his accident was the exact median day of his life. He had a literal midlife crisis. The word déjà vu gets its name from what it's thought to be. Déjà vu happens when your brain identifies something that is normally unfamiliar as familiar. However, it has a little known counterpart. Jamais vu is the opposite, when something familiar suddenly seems unfamiliar for some reason. Jamais vu is actually much easier to activate than déjà vu, because you can do this by simply saying a word 100 times in a row. By the end of it, the word no longer sounds like the word anymore and just sounds like strange noises. Jamais vu. Capybara spent so much time in the water the Catholic Church allows their consumption during Lent, classifying them as aquatic like fish. A man named Louis Le Prince is technically the first person to invent a motion picture camera movies. However, he went missing during a train ride and was not able to show his invention before Edison. The story of Beauty and the Beast was probably based on the tragic life of Petrus Gonsalves. According to Refinery 29, in 1537 there was a young boy named Petrus Gonsalves who was regularly called a beast. Reportedly, this was most likely because he had a case of hypertrichosis, a condition that causes a person to grow hair all over their body, often referred to as werewolf syndrome. Gonsalves was just 10 years old when he was taken from his native country, Spain, and sent to the King of France to operate as a type of court jester. King Henry decided to take on Gonsalves as his little pet project. Refinery 29 wrote, "The king groomed Gonsalves to be a nobleman." Eventually, King Henry's wife, Catherine de Medici, who took over after the king died, found Gonsalves a wife, coincidentally another woman named Catherine. Though it took some getting used to, the beauty fell in love with the beast. They were married for 40 years and had 7 kids together, 4 of which also had hypertrichosis.